right, good evening, everyone. Oh, hold on, eh. Okay, good evening, everyone. I think let's just wait for another 5 minutes so that we can at least get the crowd, a little bit of crowd more, okay? So kita tunggu 5 minit lagi. Around 62 in the room already. So I think we are good enough to go. Okay, Dr. Fazlina?
Okey, tapi suara Dr. Sheila macam jauh sikit.
Suara macam jauh eh. Sekejap eh.
Kejap ke ataupun I punya sound I dah 100 macam jauh. Ke I saja yang dengar macam tu? Sekejap, saya lupa nak on video. Dengar suara macam jauh.
Sekarang better tak? Sekarang better tak?
Better. Better.
Okay,
Hmm.
okay. So
Okay.
maybe the device I guna ni. Okay, tak
Okay.
apa. Alright, so I think we have around 67 participants already. Nak start ke? I think bolehlah start. Let me just slowly brief a little bit. I think they will be able to catch up. Kita start recording eh. Where should I? Dr. Fazlina boleh record ke? Coding usually.
Okay, I
Hold
buat,
on,
I buat dekat bawah tu ada record
Okay.
nanti tekan. Okay.
Okay. Okay. All right. So everyone is able to see my slide.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. All right. So good. Okay. So good evening, everyone. Welcome to our very first student briefing. Okay. So basically, this briefing has been how to say, we kind of like try to make it for new student. Okay. So new student briefing. So which means the students for the intake of October 2021. Okay. So it will include both research and also coursework. So how the going of this session would be whereby I will be briefing basically what is basically currently going on with the postgrad of College of Engineering, and what is, what is College of Engineering, and how are we actually moving, and what are our relationship with IPSIS, because I find that a lot of our students are basically from a different university. Okay, so I'll walk through that a bit, and then probably I'll take around 30 minutes or so of my session. And later on, after that, you will have like a breakout session. So it will be done manually. Okay, so we do not break you out from the system itself. So in the chat box later, okay, so towards the end of towards the end of my session, Dr. Fazlina and Dr. Hafiz will provide you the link either to the coursework or to the research program. So then please follow the link given in the chat box. Okay. So for today, basically on my part will be a short session. Okay, probably I'll take around 30 minutes. So more or less around 3:15 or so that I will stop before I pass on to the Dr. Fadlina and also Dr. Hafiz. Okay, so there will be a breakout session later. So cuma the breakout section is not automated as I mentioned. So please check in your chat box to gain the link to the either the research project or the research program or coursework program. Okay, so okay, the slide is moving, right? So I'm at the second slide. Okay, so I suppose the slide is moving. Okay, so as I've mentioned, this will be the agenda for today's session. Okay, so we would like to introduce you to the postgraduate studies of College of Engineering. So before we move on further on the programs that we have and so on, so in general, the College of Engineering has been established very recently. Okay, so we have only actually started properly in April 2021. So this is a restructuring, or it is a form of a new structure in terms of moving the university forward. Okay, so whereby a lot of universities in the world are basically restructuring into a combined entity. So to enhance or to work in symbiotic with each other. So prior to this, if you're from UATM, you should know that we have our faculties in isolation. Okay, so previously it was known as the Faculty of Civil Engineering, Faculty of Mechanical, Faculty of Chemical, and also Electrical Engineering. But moving forward, okay, so this initiative, or this basically this huge what will we call it, this concept of restructuring has been attained, or have been basically mapped out, whereby all these faculties will be joined under one entity. We call it College of Engineering. So hence, when we move forward, the code will be different. So prior to this, the students are having code, for example, for civil will be EC 701. Okay, so it's engineering civil 701. But for this semester, if you realize that your code is basically CEEC, College of Engineering Civil. Okay, so EC. So CEEC 701. So this will be the first batch that actually takes on the code, or the new code of College of Engineering. So you guys are the pioneer lah, basically. All right. So hence what happened as well in terms of postgraduate, previously we have postgraduate office at each of the faculty. But now basically it is governed by one postgraduate office of the College of Engineering, which is us lah. So basically we are providing you the briefing session at the college level. So you would have another sort of like an induction conducted by IPSIS. So IPSIS is basically like the policymaker of the postgraduate at UiTM level. So they govern all the faculties postgraduate, including College of Engineering's postgraduate. So the policy that we actually imply or we actually use in our operation, it comes from IPSIS. Okay, so they are sort of like the policymaker. So the academic regulation or any changes to that, it comes mostly from IPSIS. Okay. However, the student management, the students operation, all the application of your anything, application of your deferment, application of your cuti khas, it will need to go through our school. Okay, so it will need to go through the postgraduate at the college level. So managing of the students will be done by us. All the viva will be done by us. Okay, but we receive the policy from IPSIS. Generally, that's the idea. So IPSIS is like the mother, and then they have many, many children. So including one of it will be a College of Engineering. Okay, so that's the idea. If you are new to this college and school, and you are still remembering about thought of the faculty. Okay, so and in terms of affiliation, you as a student, when you're going to write a paper or when you're trying to just address yourself, so this will be your affiliation. Okay, so in English it's called, it will be your name. Okay, and which school you are actually enrolled in. So if you're taking programs under civil, so you'll be under School of Civil Engineering, College of Engineering, University Technology Marang. Okay, so in terms of Malay, it will be pengajian, ya, pengajian kejuruteraan, College pengajian kejuruteraan. Okay, so that's the affiliation lah. So this is important, particularly for research students who's going to write your conference proceeding, conference papers, journal. So this affiliation is very important. Okay, so in terms of organization, okay, so at the college level, basically we are governed by PNC, Penolong Naib Chancellor, who is holding the position now will be Professor Surveyor IR Dr. Suhaimi Abdul Talib. Okay, so he's the PNC. And below that, basically, we have the Dekan, Dean of Academic and Internationalization. Okay, so Professor IR Dr. Haji Muhammad Azmi Ayub. And then our postgraduate office is under the Dekan of Academic. Okay, so that will be headed by me, the head of postgraduate studies, and my name is Sheila. Okay, so Sheila Belayudem, and I am assisted by coordinators, two coordinators at the College of Engineering. Okay, so we have the coordinator for the program of research. Okay, so TS Dr. Fazlina Ahmad Ruslan, and we also have coordinator for coursework and mixed mode. Okay, so TS Dr. Muhammad Hafiz bin Muhammad Noor. Okay, so that's in generally that. And then we are also supported by the administrative team. Okay, so you will see that we have the academic team here, and we need the support from the administrative team. Okay, so this is led by Puan Syarul Aina, but the one closest to us will be the Timbalan Pendaftar for academic. Okay, so Encik Awangku Asyari. And also for postgraduate, dedicated for postgraduate, the penolong pendaftar will be Cik Muhammad Asfar Shukri Yusin. Okay, so for those who are applying to enter lab usage and so on, you might be dealing a lot with Encik Asfar lah. Okay, and then the running of our program. Okay, so we have two dedicated teams here that helps us in coursework and also in research. Okay. So for coursework students, you must know Puan Fazni and you must know Puan Imania. So they will be handling any of your application, your queries, and so on. So they are basically the one assisting Dr. Muhammad Hafiz. Okay, so for coursework student, the name that you must remember and that will be assisting you would be Dr. Hafiz, who will be assisted by Puan Fazni and also Puan Imania. Okay, so for coursework, for research, it will be the EO for coursework. For research will be Puan Mardiana, assisted by Puan Ezrin and also Puan Adiba. Okay, so they are working alongside Dr. Fazlina. So for research program, either Masters by Research or PhD, so the person you must know by heart will be Dr. Fazlina, who will be assisted by Puan Mardiana, Puan Ezrin, and Puan Adiba. So any queries in terms of research goes to these personnel here. Okay, so it's very important so that you know who you are addressing, you know who to go about if you have any queries. Okay, so currently our location, because we have just been relocated April, and then there is quite a long stretch of MCO and so on. So basically nothing has been done much on in terms of the office, in terms of the signage and so on. So, but the office is basically located at level 9, Tower 1. Okay, so that's our current location. Okay, so I've introduced you the team just now. Okay, so research will be Dr. Fazlina, coursework, mixed mode will be Dr. Hafiz, and I'll be basically managing both of it, overlooking both of the different type of program. Okay, so this is Encik Awangku Ashari, okay, our Deputy Registrar for Academic. This is Encik Asfa, who is the Assistant Registrar for Postgraduate Studies. Okay, so this is Puan Fazni, who is in charge of coursework. This is Puan Mardiana, who is in charge of research. Okay, Puan Imania for coursework, Puan Ezrin for research, and Puan Adiba for research. Okay, so practically you should be able to recognize and know them because it's a very small, tiny little team. Okay, and then this one I would just like to highlight that we are also supported by our like a representative at the each school as well. Okay, so they will be helping us, especially when we are readying for the RP session, for example. We need to get in touch with the school. Then we have representative at the school at the school level as well. Okay, so for mechanical will be Dr. Afzan, for chemical will be Dr. Shafiq, for civil will be Dr. Hamida, for electrical will be Dr. Habibah, and also we have the support in terms of training, promotion, and also student development. Okay, so that will be Dr. Rusdi and Dr. Putri Sarah. Okay, so what type of program do we have at the College of Engineering? So for those of you here, you should be either in one of the program here lah. Okay, so for research, basically, if you can see, we have Masters by Research and PhD for all the programs. Okay, so across the college, all the schools are having Masters by Research and also PhD. So for coursework, it will be slightly different. Okay, so for coursework, we have programs. Oh, sorry. For coursework, we have programs at civil. Okay, we have 6 programs at civil engineering. Okay, starting from structural engineering, geotechnical, water resource, environmental, construction, and highway engineering for coursework. And then we have a master's in engineering management at mechanical engineering. And if we have masters in telecommunications and information engineering at electrical engineering. And we have another one which is called mixed mode. So a mixed mode is where the composition of your credit is heavier on the research part. Okay, so we are talking about 60% research and 30% subject or coursework. Okay, so for coursework papers or for coursework program, the emphasis is on coursework. So you attend the classes, you take you conduct some assignment, go through the exam test, your result lulus, then basically you pass on to the next courses. Okay, so the difference between mixed mode and coursework is when mixed mode is heavier on the research component. So the coursework is slightly less. Okay, so we only have one mixed mode, which is at the mechanical engineering. So EM 703. Okay, so in terms of current postgraduate enrollment at the College of Engineering, so we can see that a lot of numbers here. I'll just easily break it down to say that this initial coding, okay, EC, EM, EE, EH. Okay, so EC is civil, mechanical, electrical, chemical. So these are the numbers currently enrolled in this code. The reason why we kind of separate COE, it is because COE is basically the batch starting October 2021. Okay, so basically starting October 2021, these are the numbers that actually registered with us. Okay, and these are the numbers of the students who have actually enrolled prior to this. Okay, and they are still in the system. So in general, at the College of Engineering now, in total of all in regardless of the old or new registration, we have around 1,119. Okay, around almost 1,200 students. And the composition is mostly higher at the research. Okay, so if you can see, it's more or less 70% research at the PhD or master's level, and around 30% of it would consist of coursework and also mixed mode. Okay, so for international students, we are getting the numbers higher, and currently we have around 59 with us. Okay. Another thing that I think I want to emphasize, in terms of postgrad, even though sometimes postgrad is only 3 semesters, it's a very short semester, but you are still bounded or you're still binded by the regulation. Okay, so I will show you where you can get all these documents. So it's very easy. Everything has been uploaded in the IPSIS website. So I'll just share the website in a while. So, but please. Okay, so I think as a student, the first thing you need to read through will be the rules and regulation. Similar to you are getting a house or whatsoever, you go through the contract, you need to know what you are what you are actually embarking on. What are the things that actually you need to know? What are the passing marks? So at least you are aware of all the possible consequences, possible factors that can affect your study. So whether can you take leave in between your study, or do you need to must complete your study? So there are rules and regulation that actually you need to abide it. Okay, so if you require break for a semester, you can take it. So it is not that you need to complete in 3 semesters. If you have issues, health issues, so there are room for you to actually still enroll, complete your master's or complete your PhD within a given, kelonggaran sikit. So there are rules, there are conditions that you need to follow. So you need to know as well. So please, I think the first thing you need to go through is just have a look on these academic rules and regulations so that you at least know what you are actually embarking on. Okay, so we have the process and procedures for research program. Regardless, master's or PhD, this is the procedure we will follow, because research program, the process is the same. Okay, so the processes are the same. We have regulation for doctoral. Okay, so we have regulation for masters by research, and then we have regulation for coursework. So obviously the items here and items by research slightly different. Okay, so because when we're talking about coursework, you would have CGPA and so on. Some things will be similar, some things will be different. But please take a look at all these regulations so that you at least know what it means. Okay. All right, so I think I'll just I am towards the end of my presentation, because the detail of how the running of research, the detail of how the running of coursework will be taken up by the dedicated coordinators. Okay, so I think as a postgraduate student, it requires commitment. You have registered and you are here this afternoon. I think that shows commitment. Okay, so it is not easy for us to actually lend our time and our effort, our, the commitment actually being shown. So I believe that if you are here taking the time off, you allocate the time to be here, it shows commitment. So it shows that you are intending to start something, right? And with that, I hope you will finish it right as well. Okay, so please, I think one thing that is very important is whereby you start something, please make sure that you try your level best to complete it. Okay, so make sure that because you are here, I believe that everyone is here with the intention to gain something out of it. So please complete the studies. Okay, so and for a postgrad, the ability to work independently is a requirement. It is different than undergrad. Okay, so it is slightly different. And on top of that, if you are doing PhD, that is totally different. Okay, so I would say PhD is maybe 95% is independent work. 5% is where you get the guidance from the supervisor. Okay, so it is pretty much your work, and you are the one who is gonna be expert on that area. I wouldn't say expert, but at least well versed to a certain depth on that area. Okay, so the ability to work independently. So masters is like a stepping stone towards PhD. So it is like a masters is different from undergraduate. Okay, so this is where you actually explore and network to see what else are the things which actually it means. Okay, so in depth of a certain topic and so on. So obviously learn on your own, right? Okay, so this one is slightly different from undergrad. You will see the undergrad, you might not write that much. Okay, so postgrad is where you will write. That's why your dissertation wording should be more than your final year project of undergraduate. Okay, so write, critical thinking, seek for answers, and for PhD or for master's research, this is very, very, very important. You must always keep in touch with your supervisor. And especially PhD, because your relationship is a long-term relationship. You're talking about minimum of maybe 5 semesters. Okay, so 3 years, 4 years, probably 5 years. So that relationship needs respect, and that relationship needs also honesty. So it's very important, because sometimes when we look into PhD, there are issues as I wouldn't say simple, but there are issues that comes into our concern. Is about just miscommunication. It's about not talking to the supervisors, misunderstanding, and so on. Those things could be actually eliminated if you basically communicate. Okay, so for research, that is very important. For coursework, maybe not that much, maybe towards the end of your semesters, end of your study, final semesters of your master's project, and so on. Okay, another thing that I think requires the highlight is plagiarize. Please, whatever assignment that you do not copy and paste exactly from all the other different documents or on the website. Okay, so it could easily be detected nowadays. Okay, so and it would involve integrity, ethical issues at the university level. Okay, so please make sure you do not plagiarize. So you do not copy, paste it exactly. If you're going to take someone's idea or someone's findings, please rewrite it to your own sentence and cite that person. Okay, so make sure this, particularly for research students. So that I think that is very crucial. So we do get some, so but please, okay, so this is where we try to at least create this awareness to you. Okay. Of course, other than that, don't underestimate your capability, last minute job, take for granted research for the sake of completion, and do not give up. So I think these are basically the things that probably your lecturers will tell you so and so on. So I think I do not want to dwell much about it. Okay, so this is also other tips or surviving tips that I can basically think of. So try not to work in isolation. So we have association, okay, that we will establish soon. We have done our AGM a couple of days ago. So I think that will be one of a very good platform for you to actually get yourself into, okay, so that it isolates yourself from academic sebenarnya. Okay, so sometimes, especially if you're doing research, master's ke PhD, sometimes it's a little bit too much. It is day in, day out, you're looking into academic. So it will be good for you to actually have something that diverts or, at least shift your mind a little. So get yourself talking to people. It can be anyone. It doesn't need to be in the same what do you call, same department or same bidang though. Okay, not necessary. Sometimes you get ideas from people from different walks of life, different department. Because when you are conducting a PhD, your mind basically just grows. Okay, because your critical thinking would just be polished just like that. So by talking, networking, you will get ideas that stimulate your mind. Okay, so this is what I meant by do not work in isolation. This one is for research. I think Dr. Fazlina will speak much detail on that. Okay, so the roles, responsibility, expectation with your supervisor, very important. Okay, so what is expected of you, what is expected of your supervisor. Both, okay, student and supervisor, they have their role. So, and they are working in a symbiotic relationship. Both require each other. The same way that you require your supervisor requires you as well. Okay, so there are certain KPIs of the supervisor and so on. So don't think that because you are the student and it is one way, dia tak ada one way. It is always two ways. Okay, so you need a supervisor, the supervisor needs you in return. So if there are any issues, they identify with your supervisor, because we have cases of students where the relationship got sour, okay, and it went through many years and finally just drop off like that, just because of the relationship. Okay, if you occur certain issues at the beginning of your study, maybe the first sem, the second sem, and you think that you cannot get along, memang dah tak boleh lah, no chemistry or whatsoever, things are not working well between you and your supervisor, and you think you need to change the supervisor for a certain reason, strong reason, you come to us. Okay, so let us know that you are having such issue, and we will try to help to see how you can still continue your study. So there are room actually. So it is not that once you select a supervisor, you have no room to actually move on. No matter, there is always a solution. Okay, there is always a solution, but just come to us. Okay, so whether Dr. Fazlina or me, if it's research or coursework, Dr. Hafiz, so that we can see how we can help you. So the role of postgraduate office is not on the student side or not on the supervisor side. We are basically the middle person to see how we can just sort things together. Okay, so how to solve problems. So that is basically our role. Okay, so the role of us is to smoothen your journey as much as we can. Okay, so we will try. Okay, so other than that, develop a timeline. Okay, so pay attention to your physical, emotional, and this I think is very important as well. So for me personally, I think this should be taken care of, and then your emotional should be taken care of, and then your physical should be fine. Okay, and of course it's vice versa as well. It's like a chicken egg story lah. Okay, so reward and share your experience. So I think it's fine. Okay, another important thing that I want to highlight here is the entrance to laboratories. Okay, so since with all this new information or this new notification given by the government and so on, so the students are allowed to enter laboratories starting 15 October 2021, including cross-state. Prior to this, cross-state was not allowed. Okay, so starting now, we are allowing it. And for those who require the use of laboratories, any software in the lab, please fill in your application through this link. So we will share the slide and recording later, so you should be able to get this in your groups as well. Okay. And there are also students who have received prior approval. If there are returning students here, if you have attained prior approval, then please do not reapply. So we will automatically place your student ID into the SIM. So you should be able to generate the letter. And once you generate letter, you should be able to just do it the same thing, the lab booking and so on. So you remain in the WhatsApp group as you are. This is basically for the new ones, okay? The ones that we have not yet placed in any WhatsApp group of entering lab. So then you need to apply. So, and then we'll process it. Okay. Right, so this is the memo provided by PNC in terms of the lab entrance. Okay, so in general, this is in Malay, but if there are international students here, I will just read out for you this in English. So basically, this is a notification. Okay, it's a memo by PNC in relation to students entering the campus starting October 2021. Okay, so the lectures, okay, for this semester will begin on next Monday, 11 October 2021. So you should be able to retrieve your timetable in the dedicated WhatsApp group. Okay, so the entrance or the allowance, the approval for postgraduate studies to enter the campus are only limited to the ones using laboratory and also software. Okay, so those are the two categories that is allowed by the college to enter the campus. So either you are using the lab or either you are using the software. Okay, only students who have completed their vaccination are allowed to enter the campus. And the application could be made through the following link. Okay, so basically it's the same link as previous I've given. Okay, so we will resend this into the WhatsApp group as well. Okay, another thing that I would like to get your attention will be in terms of the association that I've mentioned just now, society. Okay, so this would be the first inaugural basically society for the College of Engineering postgraduate. Prior to this, we have societies or association, but it is at the faculty level, okay, respective faculty level. So moving forward, we will be having one society called Engineering Postgraduate Society, ENGINS. Basically, we have conducted the AGM the other day, and moving forward, we have this group. Okay, so hopefully the ones here, okay, you can actually join. I think Dr. Fazlina has shared the WhatsApp group for the postgraduate society for you to join. Please join our WhatsApp group. We would be having our activities, or we can actually discuss our activities soon. So in general, the society is about conducting activities which academic or the postgraduate office are not doing. So in terms of postgraduate office, we'll be conducting mostly in relation to academics. Okay, so in terms of webinar on how to write, DRP session, what to expect, and so on. So it is very academic. So for a society, we are expecting to do something which really contrasts on the what we are actually doing. So maybe activities such as community services or any outdoor hikings and so on, something like that. Okay, so please do join us on that. Okay, and besides that, we also have our newly established website, social medias, and so on. So we are still building all these social medias. Okay, so we are actually at we are at the Facebook, we have Twitter, Instagram, we have also YouTube. And in terms of the recording for today, I will share it in the YouTube so that you can easily access it anytime, rather than providing you with the recording and password. Okay, so we will upload the recording for today on the YouTube as well, and the website will be coming soon as well. Okay, so hopefully you can actually what do we call it? Share this among your colleagues and basically enroll as well. Okay, so okay. And this one is where I wanted to show in terms of related forms. Okay, so you can easily get it from the IPSIS website. Let me see how many slides I have before I open up there. Okay, this one is our email addresses. Okay, so this is where your main correspondence should come through. So especially because when you are sending us something, it is something formal. So if there are any applications, it is something formal and it should go through the formal channel. Okay, so for us, the formal channel will be through email. So you may drop by our office. It's just that sometimes in terms of MCO, we have actually departed from hard copy to soft copy. So everything that we are conducting now, it is through soft copy that actually is the process as well. So make sure that if you are actually research student, if you have any query, any application, any issue or whatsoever, write it to this email. Okay. So there will be people or there will be personnel. So the team here would look into this email almost every day. Okay. So on a daily basis. So for research, it will be coe_pg_research@uitm.edu.my. Okay. For coursework or mixed mode students, this is the email you need to know by heart. So please keep the email close to you. Okay, so save it in your address book or whatsoever. Okay, so for coursework, be coe_pg_coursework@uitm.edu.my. Okay, so anything, whether you want to submit a thesis or whether you are just inquiring for something, so this should be the channel. So sometimes the reason why we actually require this, at least this is documented and we know whether it has been read or it has not been read. It is somewhere. WhatsApp, it is a little bit informal. Okay, so it is quite informal because when we have 30, 40 WhatsApp coming in, we can easily miss your WhatsApp. Okay, so please, if there are any important issues or anything that you require for, please send through this one. Okay, so because sometimes within 10 minutes, the WhatsApp can grow to 20 WhatsApp. So sometimes it could easily get missing in between. Okay. So this is just the completed Viva 43. So from April to August. And I think it's quite a huge number given that we have April to August is more or less 5 months or so. Okay, so we have Masters by Research around 18. We had a PhD around 25 Vivas. So, and all of the Vivas are basically conducted online. Okay, so cross-school Viva session. We have also a Viva session with international panels. Okay, so basically motivation, I think is a very key for personally, I would take that as a keyword. Okay, so allows us to overcome obstacles. It is the force that keeps us going in the face of difficulties, drive us to achieve our goal. So I think everyone here came with a motivation. Okay, the motivation for you to continue study, for you to embark on this journey. You need to always rethink back your motivation if you are at the downside. Okay, if you are having obstacles, always rethink back your motivation. Why did you first enroll? Why did you first register yourself? That should be the reason that keeps you going. Okay, so and then this is where we end our session. So I just want to just show you importantly that you need to, for example, let me just see if it links. Can you see the website opening? I don't think so, kan?
Ya, tak ada Dr. Sheila.
Tak ada kan?
Tak ada.
Okay, never mind because I think it's sharing the PowerPoint je. Tak apa. So, I think for because I'll be sharing the slide, so make sure that click on the link. Okay, so hold on. So make sure that you go on to the IPSIS website and there are tons of information there, especially on conference funding, forms on journal funding and so on. So make sure you keep yourself linked or looked into the IPSIS website, and all the forms are on the IPSIS website. If you're applying for anything, okay, so any academic related forms are on the IPSIS website. Okay, so the form has been provided by them. So it can be looked into on the IPSIS website. So please check through this so that you are familiar where you can actually get the form, including thesis and so on. Okay, so the template of thesis, so everything could be found there. Okay, so I think with that, I end my session before I pass on to Dr. Fazlina and Dr. Hafiz. Do you have any question that you might want to ask me? Let me see that if there are any thing in the chat box. Okay. Yes.